How do you factor some equations in algebra and not make yourself crazy? Factoring is where a lot of people in algebra they just hit the wall. It seems like a guessing game. And we're not I mean we have a lot of tools in the toolbox, if you will, to do factoring. We have quadratic equations and several things as you get into algebra 2 or trig. But in general algebra, we are usually factoring with integers, just real whole numbers, nothing fancy. And learning to factor becomes a guessing game. And what happens is students start randomly trying the numbers to see if they fit, and it wastes time, frustrates you. So now, if you don't remember, if mom or dad's watching this and you don't remember how to factor, you don't even remember what I'm talking about, that's okay, because we want to give you some tools to help your student move forward and get past this in a game that always works. And if you've heard them talking about factoring and you're just guessing, or if you remember doing this and you felt like you were just guessing, that's what I used to do, is just guess, and it's just frustrating. So what we're going to do is a method that always works for simple numbers. When it doesn't work, we move to quadratic, or when it doesn't work, simply. So let's just look over here at the whiteboard. As we see this equation here, this is an ax squared plus bx plus c. It's a quadratic equation. When we talk about factoring, normally that's what we're talking about. Quadratic meaning it's got this x squared in it, and it has more definition, but that's good for now. So what we want to do is, this is the four-step method that's here, is we want to take the a times the c and multiply them. Okay? Now, I'm going to give you the theory, then I'm going to show you the example. And then we want to find two numbers there. Find two numbers that multiply to get a and c. What times that equals a times c, and then what times that is if I add those two numbers, I get b. That step is confusing until I show you the example. And then I want to rewrite it, and then I want to factor it. So let's just hold right there. I'm going to come back to that again in just a minute. But let's start with this example equation, 6x squared plus 11x plus 3. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with step 1, is I'm going to multiply a times c. That's 6 times 3 is equal to 18. Okay, there's step 1. Simple enough. Okay, step 2 is where all the magic happens. Now this is where I'm going to confuse. So we got 18. So now what I'm saying here is, what can I multiply to get 18 and add to get the b part, 11? So look at this. So 18 can either be 18 times 1. It could be 9 times 2. It could be 6 times 3. There's a couple, right? There may be some others, but I think I got most of them. So those are two numbers I can multiply to get 18. So 18 and 1, 9 and 2, and 6 and 3. Now here comes the trick, is which two numbers that I can multiply to get that can I add to get 11? So 18 plus 1, right? 18 plus 1 is 19. That isn't going to work. 9 plus 2 is 11. That one works. 6 plus 3 is 9. So that one doesn't work. That one doesn't work. So it's 9 plus 2. All right, so hang with me. So there's the numbers. I said, what two numbers can I multiply to get the a times c value, which was the 18, and then I can add together to get the middle value, which was 11. And that's 9 and 2. That's the heavy-duty lift right here. That's most of the work of what we're doing. So what we're going to do is, anytime your students see this, they just go right to, they multiply a to c, and then they start looking for that number that adds, those two numbers that add to b. So now let me show you kind of what happens here. We found the 18, and when you found the 9 to the 12, and then step 3 is, and that's that step right there. Step 3 is I want to rewrite. And so what I've done here now is I want to say, well, that's 6x squared. I'm just rewriting the middle term, is going to be plus 9x plus 2. Whoops, sorry. That should be a 2. Let's erase that. 2x plus 3. So if you'll notice from this very top one, all I've done is the same thing. I just said 9x plus 2x is equal to 11x. We've separated it out. So I'm just following exactly my script. And the script is to rewrite the middle term by using these two numbers. All right, so now I've got this equation. Now I'm going to factor. And basically at this point, I'm just going to, I'm going to group. First of all, let's put these little groupings or things around here. I'm going to group those like two different equations. And now I'm going to factor. So I can factor this part here, and this is going to be, out of this one, I can factor a, it looks like, let's see if I got this right, a 3x, right? And then it's going to leave me with 2x, so plus 3. Okay, so I factor that first part. Now let's factor this second part. Plus, now notice in this factoring, this is much simpler. It's not factoring a quadratic, it's factoring much smaller things. So 2x plus 3, well, there's really nothing to factor out, so we're just going to say there's a 1, it's a 2x plus 3, right? All right, so now I can kind of group this together. So now I factor this big, notice this is 2x plus 3, and this is 2x plus 3. I can factor that out. So this gives me 3x plus 1 and 2x plus 3 because I factored that big chunk out. So I can factor this whole thing out as one unit because it's the same thing in both of them. So it doesn't matter which way I went at this, which way I wrote down the middle terms, it's going to turn out the same. So there's my factored equation. If I multiply that back together, I get back to where I started. And that's what we want. No guessing, just the steps. This is all we're doing. So this is the A plus C method, and it takes a couple of times of doing this. It's the book covers it, or the books always cover it. Sometimes it gets confusing reading this out of a book, and you have to see somebody do it. We do this on our videos also. For algebra, you'll see some of this in Algebra 2 and Trig. If your teen is struggling with factoring, and again, when we're looking at math, this is what happens, is they will get to a point, I'm looking at this problem we just saw, I don't know how to solve it, oh my gosh, it's too big, I'm going to have to bail out of math and go wash cars for a living. I mean, it becomes dramatic, right? I hate math, all that kind of things, and it's just a sticking point. It's that I see this kind of problem over and over again, and every time I do, I bang my head against the wall, where there's always methodologies to this. And we're just going to go through this and learn how to factor. Now, I can plug that into a computer. I can plug that into quadratic equation, by the way, and it would solve the same thing. It's a little harder, a little more task-oriented. And if you were doing this on an ACT or SAT, this is a much faster approach, believe it or not, even though I'm just talking through it. So if your teen struggles with this and they're just tired of guessing, then this will work. So we go deeper on this in our Algebra 1 course in particular. So the link down that will be down below. Hopefully this gives you some help with factoring.